Well, it says we're live.
It's mostly live.
Yeah, for versions of alive.
No kidding. All right. So if you'd like to support us, donate here. That's an interesting shadow. Oh, the camera. Donate here. It's Texas in the fall, so we need to keep the cooler running. If you like coffee, and who doesn't, talk to King Harv's. Let them know you heard about it here. Or also remember that the second book in our coffee anthology we did with King Harv's is out, and you should probably go buy it. And tell your friends about it.
It's good.
If you like smart ass t-shirts, go here. Among the Leaves Tees, good friend or a friend of ours. Go ahead and let them know you heard about here. I'm going to go put up a block because damn.
Well, since I know Ian has a rant today, I'll start with a little humor. This is a typical British joke. In the greatest days of the British Empire, a new commanding officer was sent out to a jungle outpost to relieve the retiring colonel. After welcoming his replacement, showing him all the courtesies, gin and tonic, cucumber sandwiches, the protocol degrees, the retiring colonel said, "You must meet Captain Smithers, my right-hand man. God, he's really the strength of this office. His talent is simply boundless." Smithers was summoned and introduced to the new CO, who was surprised to see a toothless, hairless, scabbed, and pockmarked specimen of humanity, a particularly unattractive man less than 3 feet tall. "Smithers, old man, tell the new CO about yourself." "Well, sir, I graduated from honors with honors from Sandhurst, joined the regiment, won the Military Cross and Bar after 3 expeditions behind the enemy lines. I represented Great Britain in the equestrian events, won a silver medal in the middleweight division of the Olympics. I've rehearsed the history of..." The colonel interrupted, said, Yes, never mind, Smithers. CO can find all that in your file. Tell him about the day you told the witch doctor to get fucked."
That one's pretty old.
Yeah.
All right. So back in 2010, back when I was really blogging a lot, there were a couple of shills for handgun control. I think it was still handgun control back then.
Handgun control international.
A couple of shills. They had their own blogs, and they'd go around asking dumb questions at firearms blogs. It was Mike B 3000 and Jade Gold, if I remember right, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, so they had this one. This sounded real good. It's 10, would you answer these 10 questions? And the last question was, what would it take to compromise for gun safety? Well, I got the bit in my teeth, and I wrote out, I answered each one of the questions in my own inimitable fashion.
Yeah.
And the last one that got down to compromise, I decided that I would write an analogy, and I used a cake as the analogy. Boy, did that particular section went viral with the gun rights cake analogy went viral
because it was perfect.
Well, in 3 years later, 2013, I think I expanded on it a bit, and boy howdy, that one went viral even worse. Now,
and it got made into a cartoon.
Got made into a cartoon. I like that people like it and spread it. I really do. But I would like for them to attribute it to me. It's on my blog. It's public record. The one that I've had several big names that have quoted it, and I understand they didn't know it was me because 100,000 people have stolen it, scraped the name off, and emailed it to their buddies. But when I contact them, Tom Gresham, Mike Bain, say, "Hey, that's mine," and they always go, "So sorry," and they do attribution. They've always been real good about it.
Yep.
Well, yesterday or day before, Dana Lowe's show, I like Dana, had somebody from GOA on, and he apparently cited at least part of a gun rights cake. And I've got mutual friends with this GOA rep that it's going to be handled. I got no issues. However, what annoys the crap out of me is I went ahead and there's a phrase in there that's unique to me that I put in Google in quotes, do a Boolean search, and I find everywhere people have quote have stolen my my quote. And when I say, "Hey, guys, that's mine. I did it here." The ignoring me pisses me off. But what really frosts my chestnuts is when I say, "No, my buddy Bubba Williams did it." No, your buddy Bubba Williams didn't. Don't argue with me. It's mine. And I'm here. When I go back and I look at Bubba Williams' previous stuff, and it's all I writes goodly, and then he comes up with this in my very British, very eloquent, if I do say so myself without being too arrogant, very eloquent language, and then goes back to I writes goodly.
I don't think so.
It's bullshit. And I did not steal it from AK47.net.
Yeah.
That one pisses me off. That I get hit with that one at least once a year. No, you stole that. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. That's all mine. A Facebook guy, Hypocrisy and Stupidity of Gun Control, did a cartoon of it. He added my contact information at the bottom, so I have no issues with that as long as my contact information is at the bottom. I said I don't mind people using it, just attribute it to me. Jack Wilder, bless his heart, good friend of ours, did a full color poster of it.
Yep.
We sell those when John site's up. We'll get it back up and we'll go back to selling them. But don't argue with me about my writing. If your buddy Bubba McWilliams does not use British spellings or British conventions or references to Nordic deities he's never used before, he didn't fucking write it. If I run it through AI and it says this was written by a Lowland Scots and your buddy Bubba Joe Snoozit is from Bug Scuffle, Oklahoma, he didn't fucking write it. Don't argue with me. I'm looking into some folks they're talking about getting a hold of a lawyer and instituting copyright actions.
You should have done a long time ago.
Yeah, but
you couldn't go public. I know.
Well, not only that, but I still don't have the money for a lawyer.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, like I say, the big name folks, the big name folks go, sorry, and they put attribution in there. Granted, the attribution part gets less than half the views the original did, but at least they make amends. It's the little no shit guys that have basically 2 used popsicle sticks for me to seize that argue with me and get stupid about it. There are 2 idiots. I'm sorry. There are 2 people on YouTube. One of them is reading it and claiming it is his. The other one, at least clumsily, tried to scrape the serial numbers off.
Go ahead and call them out.
It's on my Facebook. I don't remember who they are right now.
All right.
But and I put it on. I put both of them on links to their YouTube videos on Facebook, and people are already putting them on blast. But yes, it's a good analogy. I wrote it as an analogy. I don't mind if you use it. I really don't. What I mind is when you say it's yours or your buddy Hugh Snickner wrote it. No, I wrote it. I don't mind you using it. Stop stealing it. That's my rant for the day.
Well, to be honest, at some point 10, 15 years ago, when I first ran into the cartoon version of it, I may have shared it on Facebook without, because I shared a meme.
Yeah.
But that wasn't not wanting to give the right credit. That was just,
well, no, and I understand it has literally been stolen several million times.
Yeah.
People cut and pasted that into emails and sent it out without my name. I understand that. So when it shows up and I say, hey, it's mine, here are the multiple times I've posted it. Here's the original, and here's where I updated it, and here's where I claimed it again. And they go, oh, sorry, and no problems. I'm good with that. It's the ones that go, no, it's mine. Those ones piss me off.
Well, and Rick has a good idea. He uses DCMA takedown on the ones on YouTube.
That's not a bad idea. I hadn't thought about that, but that's not
Yeah.
a bad idea. I'm just, like I said, I don't mind. I put it out there for people. I use it to smack down handgun control.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. I don't mind if people, please do share it. Just proper attribution. And like I said, when I say, hey, it's mine, and they go, oh, sorry, no problems. Dude, we're all good. Like I said, about 1 out of every 10. No, I wrote it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You can't spell the same way 4 different times. There's only 3 letters in it.
I do have a question for you. That
Go ahead.
What do you want for proper attribution? Do you want it Ian McMurtry, or do you want?
In the old days, when I was still a cop, I wanted Law Dog and the Law Dog files, but now Ian McMurtry's fine, or Law Dog. Just some attribution to me.
Okay, and that's because there are people who only know you as Law Dog.
Mhm. I'm good either way. It's just, like I said, the ones that want to argue with me, and I've come across 2 of them that, nope. The one of them said, my buddy wrote it. No, he didn't. Another one said, that's mine. I see on Facebook how you write.
Yeah.
And I have a writing style. One of the reasons, again, I'm going to be a little arrogant here, but one of the reasons that it gets spread so much is the writing is elegant. And the writing is elegant because I use some British conventions in there. Well, actually, Scottish. There are some Scottish ways of speaking that when I get really head up, and I was banging that one out. There are some Scottish ways of speaking that get in there and make it flow and make it elegant. That's why people like it. It reads well. And I don't mind if, again, like I'm going to say this again, I don't mind if you spread it far and wide, beat gun banners over the head with it, but some attribution would be nice. And don't argue with me when I say it's mine.
It's a good way to tune Ian up, though. If you're wondering, yes, I'm growing my winter coat. I made it through the first week of the itchy stage. God, talk about wanting to claw your face off.
I'm not going with full beard this time. I'm just going with a goat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll file a couple of DMCA.
Yeah, DCMAs.
Yeah. If you listen to Jim talk, he'll tell you how he feels.
Yeah, I'm actually feeling better, Julie. Still fighting I'm pretty much over the cold. Haven't got my voice back yet. Dealing with sciatic nerve, being unhappy with the rest of my body. So I'm getting there. Hey, Richard, you can pick this one up on the comeback.
It's my standard gun rights cake analogy. Stop stealing it rant.
It's not like he hadn't used that before. The sad part is he had to use it before.
Again, I was for the mouth breathers that are going to be yelling about this. I don't mind if you use it. That's why I wrote it. What I mind is when I say, hey, that's mine, and you lie and say you wrote it. That's what pisses me off. Or your dead buddy Bubba.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of pissing people off, Trump's selection of Homan is the
wow
chief of the Border Patrol. That has some heads spinning and exploding. And they're already doing the, oh my God, he's going to kill people dance.
Well, if he kills illegals, he's not killing people, he's killing criminals.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to get killed.
It's the same bullshit.
Yes, and it is bullshit. We've had 4 years of Trump already. It's that CNN guy. What's his nuts up there? Well, this Trump will be effectively a one-term president.
My child is crying because we're going to a concentration camp.
This guy is an anchor. The news says he'll be effectively a one-term president. You do realize this is his second term, right?
Apparently not.
The state of education in this country. Every time the left, one of the big things is Trump has sworn to disband the Department of Education. Good. And every time they get to screaming about, oh my God, he's going to disband the Department of Education, and what will we do? Well, considering you think Trump's going to only have one term, this will be his only term, I'd say the Department of Education has failed you spectacularly.
Yeah, DA, he is pulling a lot of people from Congress, but those are in areas where the fill will be another Republican.
Massey is a good example.
Yeah. Yeah, the left is pining for another FDR.
I don't. Apparently, the Republicans took the House. They've got the Senate. They've got the White House. I remain completely convinced the Republicans, as they've done every time they've done this for the last 100 years, are going to steal defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yep.
Because they get the House and the Senate and the White House, and they go and they screw it up.
Well, I've got to cross the aisle to vote with the Democrats just to show that we're the party of compromise.
Yeah.
Gun rights cake is all about compromise.
The time to compromise is over.
We've been compromising. What's it got us? Look where we are.
Yeah.
I would like someone to look at the Constitution and all the different departments like education and EPA and all the others.
Oh, the EPA, his EPA choice has apparently got a whole bunch of swampies all up in an uproar.
But I'd like someone to look at those. Which of those are constitutionally authorized?
Mm-hmm.
Zero.
Well, that's the thing of it is the Constitution authorizes the presidents to have cabinets. It doesn't limit the number. It doesn't limit what they can be about. So the executive branch having cabinets, you can say it's constitutional. You can say it's not. Doesn't matter either way.
Departments, on the other hand,
which are all executive cabinets.
Yeah.
All of which need to be disbanded as far as I'm concerned.
Most of them need to be disbanded. And I love the fact, that sending howling in the wilderness, i.e. the flyover states, is a great idea.
Yep.
I love Elon Musk's idea. He and people are screaming about this, but it's great. He's going to say, hey, this is a list of people going away. If you resign, we'll give you 2 years compensation. 6 months later, the next round, if you didn't resign and you're still on the list, you get 6 months compensation. The third go round, you get nothing. And people are screaming, we're going to be paying these people for 2 years compensation, and it will still be cheaper than what they're doing now.
Yep.
Especially considering all the graft that they're getting from their various positions.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's how these senators and Congress critters get reelected. Yes, they bring money home to the district, which is why the military is in such bad shape.
One of the reasons. I am not happy about so far. I've done research, and Trump's pool for DOD are not making me happy. Not a one of them has said anything about making us warfighters again. Not a one of them has said, let's get back to killing people and breaking their shit.
Yeah.
Which is what the DOD is supposed to do. That's it. You kill people and you break their things until they're done screwing around.
Yeah.
That's all the military needs to do. And the next head of DOD, next SecDef, needs to concentrate nothing more than, will this allow us to kill people better and break their shit more? Yes or no? No, we don't do it. Yes, yay.
The Army was being used for social experiments 50 years ago.
Yep.
And that ain't changed, and it won't change because it's a place where Congress has their fingers in it.
Yeah. Have you noticed though how the recruiting videos have changed all of a sudden?
Back to white guys. We're going to war.
Yeah,
And that's a joke, but it's a true joke. When you've got a whole bunch of Scandinavian and Irish looking people in your recruiting videos, they're getting serious. They're getting worried.
Sir Brass wants to know what's his pool for DOD.
I forget. It's the CIA guy. What's his nuts? He was CIA under Trump last time, then moved to something bigger.
Grinnell.
Nope. I like Grinnell. Grinnell would be a hell of a SecDef. No, this was some complicated name. He was CIA director, and then I don't know. It's online if you want to go look. But so far, there were 3, and not a one of them said a damn thing about warheads on foreheads.
Yeah.
It was all.
Wonder if Mathis is available.
Mattis?
Mhm.
No, I do not like. I've never liked Mattis. Not sure on Tulsi. Tulsi's still a serving officer. She's in the National Guard, I think. We went through this with Mattis. You have to get a congressional override for her to become SecDef, and I don't know that I want her as SecDef.
I remember when Lehman was SecNav, and he was still reserve officer flying. Mm-hmm. So he would show up to fly his A6s on the weekend, and he's going, "I'm Lieutenant Commander this weekend. On Monday when I go back to work, then yes, I'm SecDef again or SecNav again."
Rick T says blanket revocations of top secret and above clearances. I do not know for the life of me why retired anybody gets to keep their security clearance. If you're not actively working, you're done. You don't get a clearance anymore. I don't care if it's a confidential or secret, or top secret or SCI. I don't care. You don't. Once you retire, you're done.
Well, I know why that is. If you retain your clearance, a lot of us lost them in the 80s due to that naval idiot. But if you retain your clearance and you get a job where you're working on base, then you can get on base. If you do not, it's a 2-year process to be allowed on base, not to be allowed to anything to secret.
You're still working. You're not retired. If you retire out, your clearance should go away.
Yeah, Tom's got a good point. Some do keep clearances after retirement so they can advise in retirement.
You're retired. You don't advise anymore.
Yeah.
Go spend time with your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids.
Yeah, Richard, it does make revolving doors easier for the swamp. I
lost my TS as soon as I signed my ETS paperwork.
Yeah.
Everybody else should too. I didn't want it.
The background checks do not stay active other than the length of the background. So the background, if it is not renewed, it also goes away.
They have to start from square one.
Yep. And once you retire, you're done. Nope. Calling back the gray hairs. No, you're done. Out. Go retire.
Yeah, your clearance can be picked up by the contractor.
Matt Skaggs got an excellent point. If you're still advising, you didn't train your replacement well enough. He's got a point. There's too many snakes out there that still have a clearance slithering around.
Yep. Good point, Bill. Training does not take the place of experience. Julie, I don't.
For those who don't know, NTKs need to know. Baffle Gabble tends to send some folks for the stratosphere. Yeah. NTK is need to know.
Well, it also depends on what programs you're read into. You may have to be read out. because even if you have the need to know, there's no billet.
I'm just thinking, when you're saying NTKs need to know, if I read NTK in a post or in anything, I know what it is. When you say it as NTK, it does not.
Well, there are people in the chat. Somebody used NTK, and there are people in the chat that I'm pretty sure have no clue what it means. So I was just saying NTK means need to know.
I'm just saying it. It surprised me because I didn't realize that. Reading it, I know what it is, but hearing it, I didn't.
Yeah.
As you may have noticed from the ranting going on, John is currently in Las Vegas. So there is ranting going on.
Which we will duly get our asses chewed for later.
No, it's just what I would like
Don't
to
give me that wide-eyed look, Sanford.
What I would like to do, there's a in Texas law, I believe it's in the Texas state constitution. Judges that are elected, district judges, are not allowed to be elected if they have achieved their 72nd birthday. I would like to see something similar for federal service. Once you hit your 72nd birthday, you're out. If you're a congressman, you cannot, if you have achieved your 72nd birthday, no, I'd say 62nd birthday for a congressman, 68th for a senator, and 72nd for a president. If you achieve that date of birth, you don't get to be reelected. You're out. Move on. Go spend time with your grandkids.
Yeah.
I'd like to see you can have 10 years of federal service. And when I say that, you can be a congressman, you can be a senator, president. But once you hit 10 years, you're out.
I've explained why I do not like term limits for Congress. And Matt Skaggs has brought it up again. Term limits for Congress are a bad idea. We see this in term limits for presidents. Once you're in your dead duck phase or your lame duck phase and you cannot be reelected, what little hold your electorate has on you goes away. Right now, granted, it's not much of a hold, but right now they still got to get reelected. If 1/3 of our senators, if 34% of our senators know they can't get reelected, they can do whatever they want because they don't have to get reelected. Imagine the laws if half of Congress if half of the House of Representatives knows that they face no sanctions at all from their electorate, no matter what stupid rules or laws they promulgate. We already see this in the president. Lame duck presidents are famous for signing stupid shit. Now, if we have an age limitation, we will stagger. Instead of having every 2 years, we lose half of Congress. We stagger it, and it's less bad laws getting made because there are no consequences.
Well, I'm still in favor of it for one simple reason. We're supposed to be citizen politicians, not career politicians. How long has Nancy Pelosi fed at the government trough?
Since the Pleistocene?
Yeah.
Well, how long has Biden been in government office?
Over 50 years.
Yeah.
We do an age limit. We take care of that. I said the term limits where they're evolving don't care. Gun control will get passed. John Cronin, if John Cronin knows he's not going to get reelected, he's the Texas senator. If he knows that he is term limited out, he is a lame duck. He already likes every gun control he's ever seen. The only thing stopping him is Texas won't reelect him. If he doesn't have to worry about that, hell yeah, he's on board for red flags. And there's too many of them. There's too many of them that like gun control, but they don't vote for it because they can't get reelected. Once they don't have to worry about it, what's to stop them from voting about it?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'd like to see. I'd like to. I just recently reread Lone Star Planet. I would
H.B.
really,
Piper, isn't it?
yes, I would really like to see Lone Star Planet laws invoked.
Mm-hmm.
He needed killing. He
Yeah.
was voting against people. Uh,
One of the things I would like to see enshrined, I would love to have a constitutional convention if I could control it. I dislike the idea of constitutional conventions because all sorts of stupid shit can be
Yep.
brought up. So, as a whole, I dislike the idea of a constitutional convention. If I could control it, we could fix some stuff. I would like to see a if 50% plus one of the people who voted in the previous election sign a petition, then that a petition of no confidence, that elected official is immediately yanked.
Yep.
Immediately yanked, and the governor appoints another one. We need to have no confidence recall in the Constitution. I would like a constitutional amendment to define natural born citizen as somebody with two American parents. I'll change that. If the one American parent, if the American parent is above the age of above 18. Other than that, you're only a natural born citizen if you've got American parents. The birthright citizenship needs to go away.
Yes.
especially if it's birthright because the boat got ashore.
Yep.
Or
We
you
are-
were helicoptered in by the Coast Guard because you were having a dangerous pregnancy.
Yep.
We are one of the few places left that still does birthright citizenship. Parliamentary style government? I'm not sure. But what I would like is, okay, you got John Cornyn, whatever the fuck his name is. If he was elected by the citizens of the state of Texas, what another thing, I would like to have a constitutional amendment where senators are chosen by secret ballot in the legislature. But let's say Dan Crenshaw, his district, they get a case of the ass at him.
Yeah.
Dan Crenshaw, if 50% plus one of the voters who voted, of the number of voters who voted in the previous election that put him in office, sign a recall notice.
Which could mean, assuming Crenshaw's a Republican, which
Allegedly.
is questionable, which could mean that the Democrats hold roughly 48%, the Republicans hold 48%, and the other 4% are what makes the difference. Means that the Democrats only have to get 3% of the Republicans and undecided decide they've got a case of the butt at him. And
hey, if you do what the people who put you in office want you to do, you'll be all right.
Well, think about shit. Just drew a blank on it. Gascon out in California.
Oh, that jackass. That jackass.
They've been trying to get rid of him twice with recalls. Both times it got overturned by the court. This time he lost, which many people are saying, well, there's something funny about him losing. No. What's funny is that the two recalls didn't get him out the first time because nobody in LA County wanted him for DA.
And I enjoy a great deal of birthright citizenship privileges, although not American. I'm an American citizen because both my parents were. By birthright, I'm a citizen of Malta. And there are several good things about being a Maltese citizen that I have taken advantage of. So I understand birthright citizenship. But quite honestly, the rest of the world is quite happy with your parents are American citizens, therefore you are no matter where you were born. Or your one parent married a foreign national. When you were born, that one parent was above the age of majority, therefore you're an American citizen. When you were born, that parent was not above the age of majority, therefore you are a citizen of the other parent. And then you can go through the naturalization process.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Rick. In these, a lot of these critters' minds, the funders are the ones that put them in office, not the people. I mean, how many millions of dollars were spent this time around on some state level races?
Let's talk about the bimbo who wanted to be handed the reins of one of the most powerful economies on this little green dirt ball, who raised $1 billion for her campaign and is currently $20 million in the hole.
And was paying entertainers up to $1 million to shill for them. Not that they actually supported her.
She raised $1 billion. She spent $1 billion plus another $20 million. And she wanted to run the economy?
Yeah.
The hell?
Now, what cracked me up was Trump said, "Yeah, I'll pay
it. That was great.
I'll pay it out of spare change."
That was great. If you want your child to have citizenship, then you need to go become a nationalized citizen. You need to go through the citizenship process and become a nationalized citizen. What we wind up with is this was a big deal back in the 90s, and we saw this in the Panhandle, was pregnancy tourism, especially from the Chinese.
Yeah.
I don't think y'all understand how many Chinese women spent, I don't know how much money, to fly into an American
hospital,
have their kid, and fly back.
The $500,000.
Yeah, well,
that's what a lot of them were charging.
So you've got several million Chinese babies, and I'm not kidding when I say million, that have American citizenship back in China, and they've got the documents and paperwork.
Of course, they're being raised in the Chinese system with the Chinese beliefs, including Chinese superiority.
And they're not the only ones. That's just the ones that we had to deal with in the criminal system. Mexicans do it. Any number of folks. There's a bunch of Arabs.
Yep.
They come here. They're here long enough to drop a kid. The kid has immediate birthright citizenship. And then, yes, some of them do stay here. Some of them do. A lot more don't. Those are the ones that make me nervous.
No, Julie, birth tourism is not baloney.
Well, I think she means that she doesn't like it.
Yeah, well, I don't like it either, but it's happening every fucking day.
And there was a huge boom in the 90s that I know of, because we were having to deal with it in law enforcement with Chinese nationals, because they were overloading the West Coast hospitals, so they're getting flown into Texas and New Mexico hospitals, and they were just there long enough. They were about to domino when they came off the plane.
Yeah,
they were there long enough to have the kid, and the hospitals loved it because they paid everything. They paid well.
Yeah,
they'd have the kid.
3-day hospital stay.
3-day hospital stay, run by the county and get the birth certificate, and then fly back.
Yeah.
And like Sanford said, these kids are being raised in China. They've got American citizenship that they can use at any time. Do you think the Chinese are teaching them how to be American citizens?
Yeah.
So why are they American citizens?
They're not. We all know it.
I'm actually leery even of American citizens that I agree are American citizens. Use an example. You were born overseas to American parents. You were raised overseas by American parents up until you were a 16.
preteen.
16. Now you are quite typically American in most ways. But
some might argue that point, but okay.
But I can see someone who was born over there and raised till they were 16 or 18 in a madras because their American citizen parents were Muslims.
Yeah.
And have absolutely no American attitudes.
But you got to have some way of doing citizenship, and there are typically two ways: jus sanguini and jus soli. Jus sanguini is birthright through parents. Jus soli is birthright by soil. Where we got to pick one of them. The jus soli it's getting more and more rare. They're more and more rare. There are more and more countries going, oh, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
And it is. It's a bad idea, especially for America.
It's a perfectly fine idea for someplace like the Soviet Union, where people aren't trying to move there.
Julie said, asshole during birthdays and sunborn seas. What? Yeah, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. I get the same thing. Especially when I'm really pissed off and I've got a British accent. You're not American because you weren't raised here. Well, take that idea, fold it till it's all points, shove it up until you gag.
Yeah.
But there's two ways. There's birthright, the soil you're born on, and birthright through your parents. America's currently both. We need to get rid of the birthright by soil.
Yeah. Omar's birth pass was by fraud. Yeah.
No kidding.
She came in as a refugee.
And got to stay here under suspicious circumstances.
Yep.
Because apparently, don't marry your brother to stay here.
Yeah.
Now, there are a number of people in Congress that I have doubts about whether they should qualify as Americans.
No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding.
And
Again,
many of them who were born here of American parents.
Again, I'd like to end birthright citizenship. If your parents of any age are American citizens, you're an American citizen, no matter where you're born.
Tom, not funny.
Omar was from Kentucky, right? If you want only one of your parents American citizen, as long as that parent, either father or mother, is above the age of majority, congratulations, you're an American citizen. If your American parent is under, if you have a 16-year-old mother or father, you don't get American citizenship. You can work for it later.
Of course, then again, there are the cases where the American citizenship, from any reason, is doubtful.
Yeah.
We won't mention people who believed it were called birthers for a while.
Yeah, I remember that cluster.
Padre, I grew up overseas. I grew up overseas too. We saw the U.S. 1 month out of the year until I was 16. Birthright through parentage. Perfectly okay.
That month out of the year only because your dad's company insisted?
Yes. Dad did not like. He did not. Dad grew up in bad circumstances, didn't like the States at all.
Well, the thing is, what it did is kept the company from paying you tax-free or paying your parents tax-free. That's why a lot of them require 1 month stateside a year.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was to make sure Dad didn't go native.
No. Because if you're out of the country 18 months consecutive, you don't pay any taxes on your income. So it's more for taxes.
It's always about taxes.
Yep.
A wise man once said, follow the money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Sir Brash, you can go back and look at that birth certificate.
I don't care.
And you can tell it's faked. You know anything about Photoshop, you know anything about layering, you know anything about terminology used at the time and place.
It's
Doesn't
over,
match.
It's over. That one's over and done with. And
Yeah.
Rechewing old meat doesn't do anybody any good. So I don't care.
Yeah, that horse has been tarred, feathered.
Yep. I would just like, for going forward, I would like a constitutional amendment or ending birthright citizenship.
Yep. Well, it does nothing for us.
And it can be argued hurts us immensely.
Yeah.
Like I said, the birth tourism. And that is a thing, guys.
What I remember during the rushed from Cuba here to the States with rubber rafts and everything else, the women that were getting airlifted by helicopter because the Coast Guard cutter found they were leaking raft.
Yeah.
And flew them ashore so that they could have the baby in a hospital.
Yeah. Ironically, that term is now called feet dry.
Feet wet, feet dry program
If your feet dry in the U.S.
for Cubans.
for Cubans, they have to take care of you,
And
Haitians.
and to be honest, I know a lot of Cubans, and they are good, solid American citizens.
Yeah.
Cubans are, especially the ones that got the hell out of Cuba, are good, solid American citizens. They really are. Damn decent people.
Well, it depends on which way they got. There was a couple of times when different places in the Caribbean opened their prisons and
The Mariel boat lift. I completely, but it's by and large Cubans and Sikhs.
Yep.
Sikhs make the best Americans. They really do.
well, actually, I think anybody that got here on their own and legally tends to be a very good American citizen. Sarah Hoyt's a prime example of that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody more conservative than someone who used to live in a socialist country that got to America. There's nobody more.
Mona Lisa Foster.
Yeah.
If you find somebody more American than Mona Lisa Foster.
Yeah, Tom, I got to agree with you too on the campaign finance. That is a cluster in and of itself. When you're spending over $500,000 or over $500 million on a Senate campaign, there's something wrong. I would do away with all PACs. I would do minimum or maximum allowable for a person and corporation. It was not excessive. And it would have to be for the state that you're in.
District you're in.
I'll go. Okay, I'll go with district.
Because it's ridiculous when someone from a poor coal mining district in Appalachia can spend $20 million on a campaign.
Yeah.
And there isn't $20 million in his district.
Well, 90% of the money comes from outside.
Yeah.
I'll give you a screaming example. Beto.
Oh, God, yes.
Beto O'Rourke. His entire campaign chest, no, I won't say entire, about 40% of his campaign war chest came from Hollywood.
Yep.
Another 40% came from Manhattan. And then about 20% came from Democrats in Texas.
Yep.
His entire damn campaign was run out of Hollywood and Manhattan.
And he still couldn't win.
Because he's a moron.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't call him a moron. I've known morons that were not that bad a person.
He's a criminal. He's a moron criminal or criminal moron. I forget which.
Well, he's no worse than who's the one with the Chinese spy girlfriend?
Eric Swalwell.
Swalwell.
Yes.
Swallows well. I'm sorry. Did I use my outside voice on that?
I mean, the one that wants to nuke Americans.
Yeah. Well, that's him and Schiff both.
Yeah, well, less said about Schiff, the better.
Funny how he managed to all of a sudden pull ahead and beat Garvey in the last week.
Also, no, I won't go there. I'm not going to go there. So, is there anything cheerful we can talk about so we don't get yelled at too much?
Sherry says, at least she was a cute Chicom.
Most of your honeypot spies are. That's part of the.
If they aren't cute, they can't catch the.
It doesn't work if they're not cute.
Oh,
not normally. There are exceptions.
Yeah.
So let's see. Yeah. Anything good done?
Books that came out.
AOC, what a wreck. We need to work on your target selection process there, Jay. Because damn.
I never saw I keep hearing how good looking she is, and I never quite could get that.
Every time somebody sent me a picture of AOC laughing right next to a picture of a cow pony, and said, "See," and now I can't ever see her laughing without seeing that horse.
Yeah. One I keep seeing is the mule. It was even better.
Yeah. The cow ponies. There was Tuvula had a question about cow ponies. What's peak or prime age for a cow pony?
I would say 8 to 10
I'd say
years.
8 to 10.
Yeah.
Honestly, 8 to 10.
Before that, they're not fully trained and fully matured.
And being a cow pony is a rough life.
Yeah.
Now you can go. Horses live to be 20, 25, 30 years
Yeah.
old. And if you're easy with them and swap out, you can ride a cow pony, a working cow pony till 17, 18, maybe 20.
Maybe 20.
And then you really need to put them out to pasture.
Yeah.
And I don't mean send them to the glue factory. I mean, you find a nice paddock and you let them spend the last 2, 3, 5 years eating grass and sunning themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the horse is going to think they can still do it, just like us. You know, we all still think we're 21 and we're bulletproof. We can do anything we want. And then our body goes, "Really, dude? You really think you can do that?"
What is it that meme? My heart thinks I'm a kid. My body thinks that we died sometime around the Civil War.
Yeah.
And my sense of humor knows that I'm 12.
Yeah. Yeah. Something old war horses. Yes.
No, there's kids on here, so I'm not going to say what I was about to say. Oh, what the hell? Black and Decker Pecker Wrecker.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Farm Girl, she's a horse person. She's got Tuvula, talk to Farm Girl.
Yeah.
Start at 2 to 3, keep learning till 6, heavy work to 10 or 12, medium light work until her health prevents it. Put them out to pasture, 17. Yeah. Just put them out and let them eat grass and enjoy the sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
They deserve it. They work every bit as hard as you do.
Well, you can still do all that stuff once, but it's slower and with a lot more pain and consequences.
Actually, when they're 17, you can put them into a riding school.
Yeah.
And use them lightly for teaching and riding trails, gentle trails.
If you got an 18-year-old horse and there are girl children anywhere within a 1 mile radius, trust me, that horse will get loved.
Yeah.
For some reason, girls love horses. I don't know what it is. Girl children, girl sprogs friggin' love horses.
There's a reason.
There's the number of little bitty sproglets I've seen up on a step stool putting ribbons in horse manes has been just. That's every working horse should spend the last 5 years being loved on by a 6-year-old sproglet.
Yeah. Hey, James.
Hey, James. Yeah, it's just something about horses and the little bitty ones, sproglets.
Yeah.
I said a number of little girls in pink boots and pink hats up on step ladder braiding horse manes, and the horse just standing there just happy as a clam at high tide is just wow.
Yeah, Don, that sounds about right. Retired cutting horse would demand to be ridden, and the last time she took him up in the canyon, he was 25 and tried to work the cows.
Yep.
That's what they know how to do.
They're a lot like border collies. They're
Yeah.
bred for they're bred for a purpose and a reason.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an idea. Retired border collies a girls' school, and a horse pasture.
Sproggers. I don't know. Sprogs are. I've never had children.
Five to seven.
I don't hang around children. I know they're about that tall, and they've got that particular sproglet tone in their, the vocal.
Yeah.
And they friggin' love horses.
Well, that love of horses goes on and on. For some women, it never quits.
Yeah.
I would, quite honestly, I think most women that have had a horse never give up on horses.
Yep.
Well, some of them ride cowboys instead.
I'm gonna let that one alone. I'm just gonna let that one. I'm gonna let that one lie. Yep. Lacking context.
Uh-huh.
John, it's the first time I caught the show live. I am so sorry. You, this is, wow, no, it's actually pretty normal.
Yeah.
Usually we're a lot funnier than this. If my knees didn't hate me, I'd still ride.
If the ground wasn't so far away, I might be considering riding.
Yeah.
It's not my knees. It's my hips and back.
Yeah. Just because I know how to ride, I'm not going to try it anymore because I fall off. I'll be hurting too bad.
The ground's too far away.
Yep.
If I come off of a horse now, it's to just go ahead and start the ambulance because I'm just ouch.
Statler and Waldorf. That's what we're being compared to.
That's pretty much normal.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one's Statler and which one's Waldorf?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's often very funny. Opinions vary.
Yeah.
You two know Chris Seipert. Yes, we do.
Yep.
Chris offered to train me back when I was still having legal issues. Chris is good, folks. We like Chris a great deal. He's good, folks. Where I do anyway. But no, it's especially if you're up in Amarillo, if you're up in the Panhandle,
Yeah.
and you see a retired horse, you can tell they're retired. Because like I said, they'll have ribbons in their mane, and there'll be a horse sprog leading around. He's just walking along. It's like, I have a people.
You talk about being trained, and after all the discussion of horses, I was just getting some really horrible visuals.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are.
English style?
I have ridden an English saddle once.
Nope.
And that was once too many.
My dad had my father, when we were in Nigeria, had somehow that man got himself one of the 5 lines. He had an Arabian named Nashah. I meant of the king. And it turned out to be one of the 5 lions. Saudis were pissed. Holy shit, the Saudis were pissed. He had Nashah.
Yeah.
And he had a Western saddle. And we had Patty that was a quarter horse. And so they didn't end well. That was a bad time. But that's first horses I rode were an Arabian and a quarter horse with Western saddles, and English saddles don't feel right.
Well, first horse I rode, technically, was a plow horse with a blanket that I was lying on.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't big enough to straddle it or sit up.
Well, Chris was tiny, and I 8 or 9 when Dad first put me on the Shaw and Patty, and I liked that saddle horn was my best friend.
Yep.
I snatched on that saddle horn more than once, and it was it's having a saddle horn just made me feel better. And then
the saddle's cut deeper too.
Yeah, well, and it is. And then the first time I tried an English one, and things went kind of squiffy, and the saddle horn wasn't there.
Yeah.
And that was not a fun feeling.
Yeah.
Riding an English saddle is as close to being bareback as you can without being bareback.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
It's the only way to ride bareback wouldn't have stirrups.
Michelle
James,
was,
I don't think I've seen anybody riding side saddle in 20, 25 years.
good
I'm
God.
sure it's still out there.
Actually,
I don't think I have either.
outside of movies, now I used to know a guy that rode side saddle. Guy. Now he rode side saddle on a Western saddle, not a side saddle.
Oh,
But he would he's had one of the most placid horses you've ever known in your life.
Yeah.
And he would a lot of times turn around, take his foot out of the stirrup, turn it around, put his heel in backwards to the stirrup, hook his knee around the saddle horn, and sometimes he played guitar, sometimes he smoked roll your owns, and he would roll a cigarette while sitting like that.
Every I've known a lot of cowgirls. Well, I'll be some cowgirls. I know a lot of cowgirls, and they all jeans or split skirt and rode a horse like anybody else.
yeah. Don says there are still saddle seat competitions. Yeah.
Oh.
Did not know that. Thanks, Don.
Okay.
Rick, I kind of remember what you're talking about, but God, that was years ago.
Side saddle. Yeah. I've never seen one in person. I've seen them in movies, and apparently, according to Don, it's still a thing.
Yeah.
Side saddles make me nervous.
Yes, it has a horn that you have to hook your knee over.
It actually has two of them, one on each side. They're shaped like a set of horns.
Yeah.
No saddle horn like in the middle, but there's one on each side so you can ride it from either side.
The one I've never seen one of those. The one I saw only had a horn on one side.
I don't. Side saddles don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
They really don't.
I don't want to be half off the horse to start with.
If you're a lady and they make split skirts, why side saddle?
You really want to know?
No, I don't. So moving on.
Yeah.
Nope, I don't want to know. So let's see. We've gone to horses. What else we got?
We've wasted an hour of their time.
Holy crap, we have. Boy, this one went by quick.
Yeah.
Sorry about the rant, but the gun rights cake thing is a sore point with me. Again, I don't mind if people use it. Please do. Just when I say, hey, that's mine, and you argue with me about it,
I just realized that talking about your gun rights cake was the only food discussion had on the.
oh, that's a good point.
For once.
Setting up for the law dog. Considering I am the law dog, you're welcome. Yes, in case you didn't know, I am the law dog. That the gun rights cake is mine. So that's the joke.
Yeah.
Nope, I think I'm done.
All right. Remember, folks, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. And we'll see you Thursday. Guide
Y'all be
Cohen in the
safe.
creek don't ride.
Uh-huh.